Hey guys, we're going to go over exponents part 1. This is going to go with section P2 in your book. Alright, so the first thing we want to talk about is the product rule. Product means multiplying. So notice if you're multiplying two exponents with the same base, that's that b right there, b to the power of m times b to the power of n, you're going to actually add those exponents. So a good example, we'll look at a. Notice they both have a base of 3. So this is saying 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, right? So in this one, you're going to add your exponents. So you'll have 3 to the power of 5. And then you can type that in your calculator. 3 to the power of 5 is 243. Let's multiply our 4 times our 10. We get 40. And then again, you're multiplying x cubed times x squared. They both have the same base of x. So we're going to add those exponents. We're going to have x to the 5th. Right? X times x times x times x times x. We've got 5 x's. Over here, y to the 4th times y to the 6th. Again, add those exponents. We get y to the 10th. And we're done. Moving on, quotient rule. So product rule was multiplying, quotient rule is dividing. So multiplying, you add your exponents. Dividing, you subtract your exponents. So looking at this example A, we're going to have -3. Right? They have the same base, that -3. And we're going to subtract our exponents. 6 minus 3 gets me 3. So -3 cubed, -3 times -3 times -3 gets me -27. So when you're dividing, subtract your exponents. 27 divided by 3 gives me 9. And then again, subtract x to the 14th, x to the 3rd. 14 minus 3 leaves me with x to the 11th. And y to the 8th, y to the 5th. Again, they both have that same base of y. 8 minus 5 gives me y to the 3rd. All right, so that was product rule and quotient rule, multiplying and dividing. 0 exponent rule, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. Be careful. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So you could see stuff like x to the 4th times y squared times z to the 3rd, and all that's raised to the 0 power. You don't really have to do anything. It's just going to be 1. So anything to the 0 power is 1. Next one is the negative exponent rule. So if you look here, anything to a negative power actually becomes the reciprocal. So it's 1 over b to the power of n. So if we look here, we know 5 squared is 25. So 5 to the negative second power is 1 over 25. So we're going to write this, again, to get rid of a negative, we're going to take the reciprocal, so it'll be 1 over 5 squared. And again, we know 5 squared is 25. So again, I always think of the positive. Lunch bell. I always think of the positive, right? 5 squared would be 25. It's the reciprocal of that, 1 over 25. Same thing here. To get that to become positive, we're going to say 1 over, and then it's -3 to the positive 3rd power. So we're going to have 1 over -3 times -3 times -3 is going to get me -27. And understand this is -1/27. Doesn't matter if the negative's top or bottom. It's -1/27. Here, so notice how this is in the denominator. To make it positive, we're actually going to put it in the numerator. So we're going to have 4 squared, which gets me 16. So kind of like a little shortcut. If it's in the bottom, bump it up to make it positive. If it's in the top, bump it down to make it positive. So notice here, See that -6? We're going to bump it to the denominator to make it positive. So we're still going to have 3y to the 4th up top. And in the bottom, now we're going to have x to the +6. And there's nothing else that simplifies there. We are done. All right, moving on. Power to a power. So when you raise a power to a power, you actually multiply. So m to the power of n would be m times n. So it's a little bit easier with numbers. Understand what this is saying. So if you understand the concept, it makes understanding these rules a lot easier. This is saying 3 cubed twice. So it's saying 3 cubed times 3 cubed. All right, that gets you 3 to the 6th. That's a 6. Oops, I think I clicked a button. Try that again. Nope. Okay, we're not going to try it. 3 to the 6th. So if you understand the concept behind it, 3 times 2 gets me 6. So power to a power, we're multiplying. 3 to the 6th is 729. Now this one's got a little bit of everything. Again, power to a power, you multiply. Why? 7 times -2 is -14. And in your final answer, you're never going to leave a negative exponent. So we're going to go ahead and make that positive. Take the reciprocal. All right, put it in the denominator to make it positive. Last one. These are actually nice. So when you multiply -3 times -4, you actually get b to the +12. And you don't have to deal with any negatives. All right, so power to a power, we multiply. Again, understand the concept. If you look at example A, it's a lot easier to see the concept. This is saying 3 times 3 times 3 twice. Okay. Next one, product to powers. So basically, this power, it's almost going to distribute. And again, if you understand the concept, it makes remembering these rules a lot easier. -4x to the 3rd is saying -4x times -4x, and I'm writing the long way, but I want you to see why these are working, times -4x. So really you have -4 to the 3rd, I'll put that in parentheses, and you have x to the 3rd. So that's what this is saying. You have -4 to the 3rd and x to the 3rd. But this is why, if you expand it out, you don't have to memorize those rules. What do we get? -4 to the 3rd is -64. And x cubed is x cubed. So you can raise each factor to that power. All right, next example. So this is quotient powers. Again, the power does go with the numerator and the denominator. Again, it's a really good concept to understand. Understand what this is saying. -2 over y 5 times. So it's saying -2 over y times -2 over y times -2 over y. I just want you to understand the concepts, that you're not just memorizing silly rules. One more time. There we go. So that's why you could say -2 to the 5th over y to the 5th, and you could simplify from there. So -2 to the 5th gets me -32, and y to the 5th is just y to the 5th. So again, I'm just trying to get you to understand the concept so you're not just mindlessly memorizing these rules. Here we go, power to a power, you multiply, so we're going to have x to the 15th, and we'll have 3 to the 3rd on the bottom. So x to the 15th over 3 cubed, which is 27. All right, so that was quotients to powers. And last but not least, you're going to see a lot of directions that tell you to simplify. So what are they looking for when they tell you to simplify? You don't want any parentheses, so no parentheses. If you look at A and B and D, we want to get rid of all those parentheses. No powers are raised to powers, so make sure you do the multiplying right here. See the to the power of 4? We're going to have to fix that. Each base only occurs once. If you look at example B, see that x squared, see that x? X is occurring multiple times. We need to take care of that. And you have no negative or 0 exponents. Remember 0? Anything to the 0 power is just 1. Negative exponents, we always want to have positive exponents whenever we're simplifying. So these are your main rules when you're simplifying. So we're going to go ahead and get it started. Remember, this 4 goes to everything. So 2 to the 4th, x cubed to the 4th, y to the 6th to the 4th. Then we're going to simplify from there. 2 to the 4th gets me 16. All right, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Power to a power, we multiply x to the 12th. And power to a power, we multiply again, y to the 24th. And we're done. We met all of our requirements. Here, we're going to go ahead and multiply. I like to do my whole numbers first. So we got negative 18. And then we've got x squared and one more. Remember, when you're multiplying, you add your exponents. So I've got 2 x's, I've got 1 x, I've got x to the 3rd. All right, 2 plus 1 got me 3. 5 plus 3 gets me y to the 8th. And you're done. Moving on, little division, 100 divided by 20 gets me 5. I'm going to take a couple steps in this problem. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite what I have, x to the 12th, y squared, x to the 16th, because I already did my dividing. Now this y to the negative 4th, I'm going to bump it up to the numerator to make it positive 4. All right, so step 1, we divided our whole numbers and we got rid of our negatives. And now we just have to simplify. So we have 5. X to the 12th, x to the 16th. I can get rid of 12x's here, and 12x's here will leave us with x to the 4th in the bottom. So we're going to have an x to the 4th. And then y squared and y to the 4th make y to the 6th. Okay, because 2 plus 4 got me 6. Multiplying, we add our exponents. And last example. My advice here is we're going to go ahead and break this up first. So we're going to say 5x to the negative 2 and y to the 4th to the negative 2. Now to make this positive, remember we bump it up. To make this negative, we bump it down. So we're actually going to flip these. So we're going to have y to the 4th squared up top now in the numerator. And we're going to have 5x squared in the denominator. And now we can actually do our exponents. So power to a power, we multiply. So we have y to the 4th squared gets me y to the 8th. Remember, this goes to the 5 as well. This is saying 5x times 5x gets me 25x squared. And I believe that is all. So get online, do your homework. Don't forget about your quizzes and tests on Math Excel for School. Bye, guys.